Emulation advocates thought some big moves were being made with Dolphin Emulator coming to Steam, but we knew it was too good to be true. Nintendo's firing shots with the DMCA takedown.
And Sony just had their huge PlayStation showcase. We're going to talk about everything announced there and so much more right now on Gaming News Weekly. What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of Gaming News Weekly, the best weekly video game news show out there. Every single Monday, we're bringing you all the biggest things happening in the video game industry. My name is E-Rock the Red, joined every single week by this man right here. Full clip. What is going on?
Yo, not a lot, but I mean, it's good to be back in the saddle because we've got a stuffed show this week.
Tons of stuff going on, dude. It's a two beer show for me right now. Yeah, at least I might have to get up and go get some more. But yeah, action-packed show. I'm excited to talk about this PlayStation showcase. And there's like way more even on top of that. So, it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to chatting with you about it. I feel like it's been a long time, It's been over a week because I think we're recording a little later than we did last time. You been getting into anything exciting? Playing any games? Doing anything fun?
I played a little bit of Starship Troopers. I don't remember if we talked about that last time.
We didn't. I saw your gameplay on Fruit Lab, but I did not talk to you about it. Your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of fun. I haven't really picked it up since that initial playthrough of a couple hours. I think it's got a lot of potential because it is early access, and they say they want the community who's playing the game to be very involved in where it goes from here, and maybe we'll see a roadmap or something coming out soon. So I think this is one of those ones where I'm going to end up picking it up, through the years. Just when I hear something big and interesting coming out as an addition to this early access game, I'll come back and play it and try it out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm already a huge fan of it, even in the first few weeks of early access when you expect a lot of problems and a lot of bugs, no pun intended, but yeah, I'm having a blast playing it. So it can only go up from there even. So it's gonna be great. Anything else?
Yeah, other than that, I got back into Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Nice. That's the newer one, and I sat there the other day and played it for like 6 hours straight.
Man,
I'm getting to that point. I wanted to grind and get to this point before I started making some videos on it, where I can afford to go to a junkyard, grab a rusted old, beat it up piece of crap car, and restore it to 100%. Because that's when you're either going to make real money or get a precious car that you never want to sell. And I've just gotten to that point.
So what are you working on? What's the vehicle that you're working on now?
The one I played a little bit this morning actually, and I got a Skyline, like a Nissan Skyline. Of course, in the base game, vanilla game, it's all fake cars, just fake names on very real cars. Yeah. But a Nissan Skyline, restored it from broken, rusty everything back to 100%. Barely got enough time to get it to the test track, but man, it's fun. Nice,
that is exciting. Yeah, very cool. What did I get into? I have been. So I'll tell you, after the PlayStation showcase, so we got to see the Spider-Man 2 there. Spoiler alert. But I realized I never finished Miles Morales, so I've been playing that. I've been going through trying to 100% Miles Morales on the PS5, and so yeah, I'm playing that, getting my body ready for some Spider-Man 2 action. And then another thing announced at the showcase, Beat Saber came to PlayStation VR 2. So that was free if you owned that previously. So I had that, downloaded that with I had a bunch of DLC and stuff that I had paid for. And I was playing that, man, and just having a blast playing that. I played my VR the other night for probably 3 hours, and I was just playing rhythm games, and I was I was so sweaty. The next day I was like, what did I do yesterday? Why am I so sore? Like I was drinking and stuff like that the whole time. And I woke up and I'm like, my arms were like lead, my legs were killing me because I was playing Beat Saber, I was playing Synth Riders, and I was playing Pistol Whip, which are all like, you know, you got to move around and they're all rhythm games. Dude, I had a blast. And I was like, man, I really want to do more of those. But then the next day I was even thinking about it. I was like, man, I should play some more VR. That was fun. But my body wouldn't do it. I couldn't get up and play some more. That's the downfall.
It's a workout, especially with those rhythm games.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then the one like Pistol Whip, you got to like dodge. You got to duck a lot and dodge. So you're constantly crouching. And then moving around like that. So my thighs, like my legs were like killing me. I don't exercise much. I'm just going to put that out there. So this was a whole new feeling for my body.
Yeah. So what are the DLCs like for Beat Sabers? Like more songs or
just more
particular
songs.
bands or anything?
Yep. Yeah. So they just came out with the Queen pack. So I got that with all the Queen songs. I'm a big fan of Queen. But yeah, I got like... they have like an Imagine Dragons pack and what else was there? Green Day and The Weeknd. So yeah, they got a bunch of artists, Lizzo, Linkin Park. So, you know, they have those. You can either pick and choose whatever songs you want to download, or you can buy the whole, you know, the whole pack. But yeah, that's they're all great. They're so well made. They're all, you know, like every swing of the saber, it feels right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know you do. Because you're just out there with real swords. You're just having your wife's just like throwing things at you. And
I still
like,
do it to Queen,
Beat Saber.
Fat bottom girls with my katanas.
Exactly. All right, we got to get this show moving. We got an action-packed show. We got a couple of new releases to talk about. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's talk about our new releases from last week. All right, first up, we finally got the release of Star Trek Resurgence. Came out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, XS, and PC. This came out on the 23rd by Dramatic Labs. Now, these are guys that you could see there's like a connection to Telltale in this game. It's very Telltale-esque. It's like a dialogue-driven game. But you play as a couple of characters in the Star Trek world. Two characters, different perspectives. So you got two stories going on at the same time, and it's just focused on those characters, and the things that you say change what happens in the game. Everything that I've read say that it's an amazing Star Trek story. If you're a Star Trek fan, this has a great story. You feel the weight of your decisions, but the downside of this game, they say that there are points where they're like, hey, we're also a video game. So here are some video game parts where you need to do things. And those are the parts where it suffers. Yeah. So, you know, you take the good, you take the bad. You take it all, and then you have the facts of life.
Yes. Yeah. Is that a game that you're looking forward to picking up? I think we both said that we're not really Star Trek big fans.
Not a huge fan of Star Trek, like that I followed every show. I loved Star Trek Next Generation. I like the new shows that they're coming out with. So I do enjoy a good Star Trek story if it's done right. I like the new movies. I like some of the older movies. So I guess, yeah, I think I'm more into Star Trek than I am Star Wars. But so yeah, this is something, and also, you know me, I'm a big fan of these story-driven, like the Telltale games. So I'll pick it up on a sale sometime. These games always drop in price pretty quickly, you know, so I have no problem waiting and grabbing that at some point down the line. But I absolutely like a good Star Trek story that I get to be a part of and make decisions. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sold on it for sure. What about you? Any interest?
Not really being into the Star Trek universe, not knowing the lore, and couple that with it basically being like a Telltale Games narrative story type.
Yeah,
double whammy. No, I'll pass on that one.
I could have said that. As I asked the question, I'm like, I really didn't need to ask this question. We all know the answer. All right, maybe this next one will be for you. The Lord of the Rings Gollum came out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, XS, and PC. This came out on May 25th. I almost didn't want to include this in the show. There wasn't much that came out, and I didn't want to start it off with negativity. But this is one of the worst rated games of this year, and it's probably the lowest scored game in Gaming News Weekly history that we've talked about. It is a pile of hot garbage from everything I've heard. It's unfortunate. So it's by Daedalic Entertainment, however you say that. And I know people were excited about it. I know the developers were excited about it, but everything I've heard is that the game is buggy. It is not pretty to look at. And then on top of all that, the gameplay is extremely painfully boring.
Yeah, and as is a growing trend, it's like 100 gig download. That's one criticism that I've been seeing about a lot of games now.
It doesn't look it, man. It does not look it. It looks like 20 gigs max. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I know, are you a fan of Lord of the Rings fantasy type stuff?
I've played other games of the style that are not set in Lord of the Rings, like Middle-earth series, I guess.
Yeah.
I like those. I don't mind that setting at all. But it's another one where, like, you almost have to be deep into the lore. Maybe it doesn't matter so much if you're just trying to play through this game. But, yeah, with everything that I hear about this one, I think that's a pass. But, yeah. I mean, a lot of that is becoming because a lot of that hate is maybe coming because it's a $60 game. And if you paid $60 for this, that's unfortunate. But what if it were a $20 to $30 game?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it might not be as bad, but still, this game is bad enough where the developers issued an apology. And I want to just read this real fast. It says, "Dear players, we would like to sincerely apologize for the underwhelming experience many of you have had with the Lord of the Rings Gollum upon its release. We acknowledge and deeply regret that the game did not meet the expectations we set for ourselves or for our dedicated community. Please accept our sincere apologies for any disappointment this may have caused. Our goal as a studio and as a passionate The Lord of the Rings fans has always been to tell a compelling and immersive story-driven adventure. Crafting a story with Middle-earth as our playground has been the greatest honor and the biggest challenge we have faced so far. At Daedalic, we understand that a game's success relies on the enjoyment and satisfaction of its players. We genuinely value your feedback and have been actively listening to your voices, reading your comments, and analyzing the constructive criticism and suggestions you have provided. Our development team has been working diligently to address the bugs and technical issues many of you experienced. We are committed to providing you with patches that will allow you to enjoy the game to its fullest potentials. Once again, we deeply apologize for any inconvenience caused. We appreciate your understanding during this time. We will continue to keep you updated on our progress and provide transparent communication regarding the upcoming patches and improvements. Your passion and dedication as players have been the driving force behind our determination to make things right." So, first of all, when this was announced, I'm like, really? Like, Gollum, you're going to have a story with this as the central character? Like, who gives a turkey about that? Nobody, first of all. And second of all, I know that Daedalic has another Lord of the Rings game that they are working on, and I am terrified for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But right now, stay away from this one. I think it was like at 36 or 38 on Metacritic right now. Yeah. So, not great.
One other criticism we should bring up is people used to get mad because they sold any kind of microtransaction, but this one has taken it somewhere I've not seen before. They actually sell you like a voice pack that modifies the elves' voice to be more realistic like elves. So they, for some reason, recorded like a crap version of it that everybody gets in the standard version, and then they like went and did it right, but you have to pay extra for it.
Are you kidding me, dude? That is insane. Oh my God. Ridiculous. All right, enough about that. We got bigger things to talk about. We got to talk about some news. Okay, our top story this week, the PlayStation Showcase just happened. So this is usually the time we'd be getting hyped, talking about E3 and that sort of thing. And the first major showcase of this summer of games was the Sony PlayStation Showcase. And everybody had a lot of hype for this one. Whether or not it lived up to that hype, if you watch it, let us know. We're going to talk about everything that was shown. Try to run through it fairly quickly, or else we'd be here for a while. But here we go. Let's do it. So I'm not going to go in order of what was shown. I'm just going to go in the order that we have here. There was a new gameplay trailer for Immortals of Avium. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Another one of those first-person magic shooter things. We'll see how that shakes out. Then we got Concord. This is the first AAA project from Firewalk Studios. It's a PvP multiplayer game set in a sci-fi universe. Really didn't see anything at all of this one. They showed a little trailer, just kind of setting it up. There was a hamburger. I remember the hamburger. And then like a spaceship. So I don't know what that is. Concord. Is it a grape? Is it a jet? Could be both. They also had a PSVR 2 showcase. I'm on the PSVR 2 subreddit, and a lot of people over there were pretty butthurt because they didn't show much. They didn't have any major announcements. They showed Resident Evil 4 is getting a full VR mode. That one was the most exciting thing for me. It wasn't just because they've talked about, okay, there's going to be VR for RE4. We didn't know what. This, you could play the full game all the way through in VR. Excited for that.
It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, especially, and it's like, if it's on the level of the previous ones, it's going to be awesome. And, we talked about it recently. That's my favorite of the Resident Evil games. So I'm stoked for that joint. Beat Saber we talked about. They showed another trailer for Synapse. Looks like a, crazy game that's going to make me motion sick. We got a trailer for Arizona Sunshine 2, which is another zombie first-person shooter game. A lot of funniness. Jokes, lots of jokes in that one. Crossfire Sierra Squad miniature. They didn't show much gameplay there. A little bit. It's like a Call of Duty type game. Another game we got to look at. That was it for PSVR 2. Again, like I said, they didn't show much major stuff there. Tower of Fantasy. It's an open world sci-fi game. That one looked pretty. I thought that one was nice. It was very beautiful. Kind of had like that Japanese anime kind of style. That one looked pretty cool. Let's see. Ultros. It's a Metroidvania. Very colorful. It looked like, I don't know.
Adventure Time a little bit.
Yeah, it was. It did. The characters like kind of had that same like look. But yeah, that one coming to PS4, PS5, and PC sometime next year. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink coming this winter. That game, I never got into those Grand Blue games. To me, it looks like, I don't know, like, what's that one? Genshin Impact or whatever, like one of those. Not my cuppa. Revenant Hill, they showed it's like a cutesy, I don't know, it just had like a black cat walking through. It's from the same people that did Night in the Woods. Yeah, you ever play that game?
I've been meaning to for years.
Me too.
And I think I even have a copy of it on one of these systems or PC. I've just never gotten around to it, but I want to play this one as well. So another one on the list.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in the same boat. In fact, I think it was just on sale on Steam recently, and I didn't pull the trigger because I have enough to play.
Yeah.
Towers of Aga Saba. It looked like a Wish version of Breath of the Wild. Uh-huh. It was like, yeah, we have Zelda at home.
Exactly.
But this one was more like, I don't know, more about like the nature and the world that they were in. It looked interesting, but as soon as the dude whipped out the hang glider thing, I'm like, it looked like the exact same mechanic from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So that's coming later, sometime next year. Cat Quest, Pirates of the Caribbean. This is the stuff. They showed us a lot of these are the games. I mean, we'll get to our overall thoughts of this showcase, but there was a lot of people that wanted the Wolverine or a new Last of Us game. And we got Cat Quest Pirates of the Caribbean, got like a full minute and a half. But yeah, I don't know. This one looked cute. I'm sure I'll play it. I'll probably play it on Game Pass or something, You play as a little tiny cat that you fight with a sword. the creators of Grizz introduced their new game. Now, this game almost made me cry as I was watching this trailer. It was a really sweet trailer. This giant, beautiful, like wolf with antlers is trying to save its owner and child or something and dies. It was so sad. I have no idea what it is, but it looked beautiful and it
stylistic.
very emotional. But I'm definitely, it's on my radar now. It's called Neva or Neva. I don't know. You gonna play that?
No.
Never. Another PSVR 2 one. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 was announced coming late 2023. I have Five Nights at Freddy's. It's the only Five Nights at Freddy's game I have. I have Help Wanted, the first one, and it is very scary and it is fun. So
is that the most recent one that came out?
I have no idea. I don't know the lineage, if they're all the same. This is the only one I've ever played. And I don't know if you know, but in this you're like a security guard and you're in a room and you have to make it through the night. Is that how they all are?
I don't know. I've never played any of them. I've only played the Roblox version.
Oh, see, I thought you were Mr. Five Nights at Freddy's. I thought you were Freddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks just like more of that. It's got new mini games, location stories, and new animatronics. So it's definitely creepy. It's a lot of fun though. Let's see what else. Giant Squid revealed their next game, Sword of the Sea. So this is a game takes place in an abandoned world where the terrain flows in constant waves, where you control a new movement mechanic known as the hover sword. This controls like a snowboard, skateboard, and hoverboard all in one. Interesting.
Actually sounds pretty cool. I played a game like that back on PlayStation, like the first one. It was kind of fun, mechanic-wise.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It flowed, like the gameplay, it looked like it flowed really smoothly. So that'll be cool. A big one that people were really excited about, Helldivers 2 was announced. Now, I played the first Helldivers. People loved Helldivers. And the first one's a top-down co-op shooter, and you gotta battle. It looks a lot like Starship Troopers. Same bug type things and everything. So I played it. I think we might have played it once or twice, but it has friendly fire. And with my group of friends, that's how, we stopped talking to each other for months,
Jeez.
So, yeah, it's not one to play. And I don't remember if if you could shut it off or not, but this one is definitely a huge leap, because now it is these amazing looking 3D graphics. It's a third person, over the shoulder type mode. I don't know. The camera moved around a little bit. I kept trying to get an idea of what the style was for this, but yeah, it looked funny. The trailer was funny. The gameplay looked awesome. So I might have to try to get them back into Helldivers, but that friendly fire, man, it's rough. Ghost Runner 2, I was surprised to see that. You ever play Ghost Runner?
No, never heard of it actually.
Oh man, it's a lot of fun. So it's a you ever play Mirror's Edge?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a parkour, first person parkour game. Yeah, basically, it's you have a set path. Really, everything. The path that you need to take is a different color, and you have to jump and wall run and do all this stuff. But this one, it's the same game, but you're also this badass ninja, and you got to kill these people. And it is hard, and it is fun, and I love it. And I was very excited to see a sequel to it. Now, this one, there's vehicles in it, so that got me really excited.
Really awesome trailer to it. I couldn't quite tell what was going on because it's a little chaotic, but it's you're going down the side of a skyscraper that's never ending on a motorcycle going back and forth. And
dude, it was crazy.
And then he swaps over into on foot, which I didn't expect this game to be that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, it's you thought it was a racing game or motorcycle game.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he's wait a minute, it's running too. All right, now this one was my favorite reveal of the show, Phantom Blade Zero. It's a hack and slash role playing game. Set in the Phantom world, a place where Chinese kung fu, steampunk, and more converge. The game will feature fast-paced sword combat taking place in a bleak and punishing semi-open world. So this trailer was gorgeous. All the things they do in the trailer, like my jaw just kept dropping further and further. Like the attack animations and like all this stuff that was happening in the trailer, I was like, oh my god, I'm absolutely sold on this. It's beautiful looking. Yeah, Phantom Blade Zero, man. That was the highlight for me. What'd you think of that one?
Yeah, that looks amazing, and I'm glad this style of game is coming back, especially with like Ghost of I'm not gonna say it right. Tsushima.
Nailed it.
Yeah, games like that coming back, and it takes me back to like Onimusha and that strand of games.
Yeah, this one looked awesome. I'm really excited to see more of that one. So Phantom Blade Zero, no release date or window or anything like that, but it looked pretty far along based on this trailer. Everything from what I've read after that, everything in the trailer was, is gameplay and stuff like that. So very excited for that one. And then the other one, I know we talked about this. It was shown maybe at the Games Fest or whatever, the Plucky Squire, where you're jumping in and out of, books and other things. And it's like this beautiful, like, I don't know what it is. It's like an action adventure game, but like you go into a storybook and then you also can go into like a picture. This one is very much high up on my, my wish list here. I'm looking forward to the Plucky Square. A lot of these games, these like little indie cartoony games, I'm like, really, this is what we're gonna watch. But like, I'm always gonna be happy to see more Plucky Square.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? You tell me that regularly all the time.
Can't wait to that Plucky Squire.
Exactly. All right, next up we got Splatoon 2 for PlayStation. Nope, that's not what this is. It's just a cheap ripoff. Foam Stars. Like, dude, I don't know about this, man. It looks...
I don't think it's a bad idea because...
No!
I mean, it's a game that you can only get on Nintendo.
Yep.
When Sony, and this isn't the first time, they do their own version of it like Brawlhalla. It can actually get quite a bit of attention and become a good game.
Yeah, if they could get this right, like Splatoon, the gameplay of Splatoon is awesome, and who says it has to be on Nintendo? If they could get this right, they could have a big hit. But it looked like shit.
Yeah, for now. We'll cross our fingers.
It looked just, I don't know, okay, Splatoon is cartoony, and that's the thing. But this one, I don't know. It just couldn't decide what it wanted to do. It was cartoony, but I don't know. And it's foam instead of paint this time, guys. The Talos Principle 2 coming sometime this year. It's like a puzzle game, kind of like a, I don't know, like a Myst. Remember those games where you got to just like figure it out in your surroundings?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that. It looks gorgeous. So keep an eye out for that one. The show got kicked off with this next game, Fair Game $. Now, I don't know if we say that as a plural. Fair Games. Fair Game Money.
I don't know.
I never know. Like, because I still don't know if it's Kesha, K, dollar, huh? You put a $sign in the middle and who knows. So this one, it kind of looked like a heist game. 3v3 heist game where you and your friends are out there. You got to go against these other groups to try to get whatever the thing is. What was your thoughts on this game, Fair Games $?
Yeah, it doesn't stand out to me. I watched through all the trailers, but remember nothing about this.
Oh my god. Yes, what was that first one? It's by Haven Studio, Jade Raymond's new studio. So, there's there's like 2 other games coming out with the same premise. It's a co-op heist game. So,
yeah,
it's gonna, one of them is gonna be the one that everybody picks. So whether or not it's this one is yet to be seen, but it looks like it's got a little bit of that Fortnite-y kind of vibe with the character styles and the weapons and that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll see. They showed a little bit more Street Fighter 6. Bungie announced Marathon. So Marathon was a old series back in 92 on Mac. which is crazy. I didn't realize Bungie's been around that long. You know, you just think of them as like, you know, Destiny. That's
Halo.
Halo, yeah. But yeah, no, this is they didn't really show much of it, but it's a PvP focused game. Not going to have a campaign. It's just a first person shooter. It's another PvP first person shooter. So what it's going to be, I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting choice of things to bring back.
Yeah, right. I know it was like pretty widely regarded as being an awesome game. Like, because I had heard of it, no idea what it was. But when they showed Marathon, I'm like, okay, this is familiar. Don't know why, but you know, I guess it's a classic. So
Yeah, I hope they do Chips Challenge next.
ooh,
3D pinball.
there you go. Oh, 3D pinball's my jam. You know, you could get that on the Steam Deck. I just realized.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Next up, Dragon's Dogma 2 got a trailer. This was pretty exciting for anybody who's a fan of the first game, or anybody who's a fan of role-playing games. Dragon Dogma, the first one, is widely believed to be one of the best role-playing games out there. On this one, I'm very excited for. They know how to do fantasy. Like, so in this trailer, they show a lot of spell casting, and you see like this wizard like call on this huge like meteor from the sky, and it blasts these dudes, and like you see the projectiles flying up and everywhere, and like the magic looks great. So like I'm really excited about that. Everything else looked great too. But yeah, these are big games. These are 100-hour games, you know, where like you've got a lot to do in them, and I'm very, very excited. I never finished the first Dragon's Dogma, but that's my thing. I don't finish games.
Yeah.
There's too much to play. What do you want me to play the same game for hundreds of hours? No, thank you. Final Fantasy 16 had another trailer, and this was officially the trailer that got me to buy the game. Now I haven't bought it yet,
really?
but I decided I'm buying the game. This trailer looked amazing. Comes out June 22nd. The only problem with me deciding to buy Final Fantasy 16 is that Diablo comes out like June 9th, Final Fantasy 16 June 22nd, and then AEW Fight Forever comes out soon after that. We'll talk about that later in the show. So June's going to be a busy month.
Yeah. What's the last Final Fantasy game you played in the series?
So I played 11. That was the last one I played. And then the 7, Final Fantasy 7, the remake. So I don't know, you know, how that works out as far as timing. But yeah, so I've always been into the idea of playing more Final Fantasies. But this one, dude, it looks so good. The action style of it, so it's not turn-based, it's an action role-playing game. It looks like it's really, really fast-paced. I read an article saying that the fighting kind of reminds them of like Devil May Cry, like where the chain combos and that sort of thing, which I'm for. And then when they show like the monsters like fighting, you have to control like your monster and then like fight these other, like it just looks awesome, and the story looks great, the characters look great. So yeah, I'm excited, and I'll report back once that does come out. Alan Wake 2, we got another trailer for that. It's coming out October 17th now. This is a horror game. I never played the first one, but this one it looks enjoyable. You ever play Alan Wake?
No.
Yeah. What did you
Is
think?
That a PlayStation exclusive?
No, this one is not. It'll be coming to Xbox and PC, I believe, as well. I think most of these are. I think the only exclusives were Final Fantasy, whatever that game was, the Japanese game that I talked about earlier, and that I think that was it. And then yeah, I think that was it. So in fact, Xbox came out with a tweet after this showing like a picture of all the games that were on there and said like, yeah, we got those too. Yeah. So another one, Assassin's Creed Mirage. There was a new trailer for that. We got a release date October 12th for that. I'm still not playing an Assassin's Creed game. What did you think of Mirage? Looked like something you're going to pick up?
It looks like standard Assassin's Creed if you're into that style of gameplay, which usually is pretty well polished and a very playable game. A little bit the same from game to game, but If you like Assassin's Creed, you'll love this one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And if you're just getting into the series, it's probably a really good place to start because they always do come pretty well polished and complete.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It looked great. So yeah, I'm sure just more of the same. Really cool trailer that I had no idea what it was, even like leading up to the reveal. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater remake was announced, and this one, like the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, okay, what is this? Okay, there's like an ant. Okay, now there's a frog. Now there's a bird. This is a nature game. And then in the bushes, you got Snake sitting there staring out. So we didn't get any gameplay or any idea of what the game itself is going to look like. Nothing other than, this little teaser, but it got a lot of people hyped. This is a big game. So people are very much looking forward to that. You ever play any of these games?
A little bit of Metal Gear Solid 5. Well,
Okay.
Quite a bit of it, and then a little bit of the ones before it.
Okay. Yeah, so, and then they also announced that they're going to have the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 coming soon, which includes Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, and Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater that comes out sometime this fall. So you get to go back and play those games. Very exciting. And then they closed the show with Spider-Man 2. Huge. They showed a trailer with Kraven is a Spider-Man villain. Thought that was really cool. Awesome trailer. And then a ton of new gameplay. We got to see Peter Parker, Spider-Man, as wearing the symbiote suit, like the Venom suit, which was really cool. Showed a lot of cool new moves for that. And then they showed Miles Morales in there and a couple of his new moves. So this was maybe 20 minutes of gameplay, a little less. And like I said, I immediately went back and I put Miles back on my PlayStation, and now I'm back in there playing that game. Love those games. They're close to perfection as far as games go. Even if you're not a superhero fan, the gameplay, the way it's done, dude, it's so good. They're such good games.
I don't know if this came about with, Into the Spider-Verse, or if this was already like a comic book thing, but I love this strand of the story from the Spider-Verse. It's it's really spiced things up. It's made it interesting. So even though I don't care that much about superhero stuff, I'm looking forward to the second movie. I loved the first movie, and I think these games will be a great companion to them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, the whole multiverse thing is interesting, and how it works. The introduction of Miles Morales and as a different Spider-Man is separate from that, but the Into the Spider-Verse movies, the new one's just coming out soonish, right?
I think so.
But yeah, they definitely put more of a focus on there and made them bigger names in the Marvel universe. So it's very, very cool. And then one thing that they did also show at the thing, which to me, I wanted to say this for the end because I wanted to hear your opinion on it. They showed a new device codenamed Project Q, and it's basically just the PlayStation controller sawed in half with a big old screen right in the middle of it, and it allows players to play their game, their PlayStation 5 console, using the remote play over Wi-Fi from home. So it's an 8-inch screen, and that's all it does. It does the same thing that my phone does, the same thing that my Steam Deck does. But those things do more. My phone, I could do text messages. I could look at naughty pictures. Can't do that with Project Q. What are your thoughts on this thing?
I understand completely why they need something like this, because you're playing Xbox games on PC in the first place, but also you can sort of do the same thing on there. So they need this to compete, but at the same time, I don't think it's the ideal thing. Unless you are 100% committed to being in that PlayStation ecosystem, you have a lot of money into your games on PlayStation 5, and you want to be able to play them on mobile. I think the better way to go if you're going to spend this kind of money and have a device like this to game is like what you're doing. Have the PlayStation 5, have a Steam Deck or the new ROG Ally, something like that is like a gaming PC handheld rather than a device specific to your console.
Right. Yeah, and I get the appeal to this. that stuff. So I've done it on my phone. I had the backbone, where it hooks into the thing. Got the Steam Deck. I used my Vita previously to do the remote play, and all of those things just never like really work perfectly. It's not simple. So if this is something that can just work, and if people have like, I could see the people who are going to buy it, the people who are at home and their wife wants to watch television or whatever, and they have kids or whatever, and they just want to sit down and play their PlayStation. Sure, I understand that this could be for them. But like I said, there's other options for how to do it. But if this works perfectly out of the box, instantly, no problems, great idea. What do you think this is going to cost, though?
Not cheap, if I had to guess. I mean, because we have other things like it that don't necessarily have like the compute power that those standalone systems like the Steam Deck and the Ally have, and they're still pretty expensive. I mean, we're talking like $100 or $200 difference from one of those,
Sure,
like full-on handhelds. So $300, $400, $500. It's hard to tell.
I think if this is over $200, it's going to flop. I think it needs to be $200, $250 max, because it's just a screen.
Yeah, that honestly sounds like it might be worth it. I mean, for the functionality that you're getting, that seems like a fair deal.
Exactly. If you don't have a Steam Deck, or you don't want to use your backbone or whatever, but like, yeah, if 200, 250, and you could play on this beautiful screen with a nice PlayStation controller, maybe get the haptics and all that stuff. Like, yeah, I might even get one at that point if it's $200. But like, it can't be more. It's that's rough. And then they also announced some new earbuds, PlayStation earbuds that look nice. So yeah.
Well, I had a question for you about that.
Let's hear it.
What does the PlayStation VR 2 have as far as speakers? Because I'm more familiar with the Quest 2, and I know it's got like a built-in thing that really makes you feel like you're kind of in surround sound already.
Yeah. The VR 2 comes with earbuds that connect to the PlayStation VR. So, and they just kind of like either hang off, or you just pop them in. They're nothing fancy. They sound great. I think they sound fantastic for what they do. Or you could just use your Pulse headset or whatever other headphones that you have for the PlayStation.
So, do you think that these new earbuds could be used in conjunction with that?
Sure.
To enhance the experience?
Yeah, I mean, I love earbuds. If I have the big cans on like that, my ears get real sweaty, so I prefer the buds. And if they're quality, yeah, dude, I might get some of those for just overall my gaming. It all depends on the microphone and stuff though on those, so, we'll see. And the cost, obviously.
Sounds like it could be pretty cool. And we got to remember that Sony is first and foremost an electronics manufacturer, not just the console space. So they should know how to make them well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what was your thought on this overall showcase here? PlayStation needed to come hard. They needed to come swinging for the fences. I don't know if they did that, but what was your takeaway?
Well, coming into this, I have like zero expectations. I'm always interested because we're going to cover it one way or the other on here. So I'm always interested in what they've got coming out. But I don't have like my hopes up for any of this because I'm basically over the PlayStation 4. That's the last console that I had. And I'm pretty much all in on PC gaming at this point. And to me, it seems like a good mix. I mean, I'm sure that it would have blown people away if they would have had something a little bit bigger or a couple games, more AAA titles.
Right.
But good mix of stuff. I don't think there's anything to complain about, really.
I'm with you. I think for this, people had very, very high expectations going in, but also it's a PlayStation showcase. Their showcases previously there have been big reveals, huge announcements. So I think people were right to kind of have these expectations. And it didn't deliver in terms of that. The big reveals, the big, Spider-Man 2 we got to see, which was, it really kind of brought it all together for me. And there were some really exciting new things coming out that weren't on my radar, but it was those things that we didn't get, that like a new game from Naughty Dog, or just something from those big studios that, like, what are they working on? We hear all about these things coming. I knew like I'm really excited to hear about Wolverine. People have talked about, Wolverine, or even just like an Astros Playroom like type thing for the PSVR 2, like something like that. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to get a little conspiratorial here. And, Sony's been trying to fight this Microsoft acquisition. What if they doled it down just a little bit this time to make it look like they're not as competitive?
I don't think I don't think that's far off, man. I could see that happening. And also, like they said, they have a lot of things that they didn't show at this event. So, like, I don't know if they're holding on to it for that reason, or if they're just, waiting until the time is right. But we'll see. But yeah, overall, I think I expected more. I had higher expectations, so that could have been my fault. But a lot of games that I'm excited to play. A lot of games. Like I left that thinking like, okay, there weren't those big reveals that I wanted, but my wallet is in trouble.
Yeah.
So, all right. We got to move on. We talked about that for way too long. All right, next up, Microsoft Minute. And I'm going to do this in less than a minute, and we're going to move on. China has approved the merger. So bringing the total approvals to 37 countries have now approved the Microsoft Activision Blizzard King merger. Thoughts?
It's a step forward. I mean, there's not much more I can say about it.
You heard it here from Full Clip, folks. It is a step forward. All right. We'll report back when the 38th through however many need to do it respond. So I'm sure we'll be talking about that more next week. All right. Dead by Daylight had its 7th annual showcase. A ton of new stuff was announced here. Some very interesting things, too. I was surprised. First off, we're getting a couple spin-offs. First one being from Supermassive Games, the guys that did Until Dawn. They're bringing a Dead by Daylight game. Very, very excited for that. It's an intense narrative experience filled with powerful life or death choices set within the backdrop of Dead by Daylight. So that sounds like it could be awesome. Those guys know how to do horror games, and like if they do something like Until Dawn with like all these weird killers and stuff in there, it will be fantastic. It's going to be a good time. And then the other one is a multiplayer PvE game from Midwinter Entertainment, and it looks to tackle themes of greed and lust for power with teams of up to 4 players taking on a strange new corner of the entity's realm. And yeah, we got no release dates or windows or anything about either of those games there. But I love that this video game, this world of this video game, is now spawning spin-off games.
Yeah, it's
so cool.
Really living on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a completely unique game because there are quite a few of these asymmetricals. So, I mean, I've only played this a couple times. What is it that you love about it that you think is the success of this?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I love the game play of it. It's like it keeps you. It's anxious. You're anxious the whole time, and like the different characters, the different worlds, and how you could play it. It plays different every single time. But it's such a simple game. You go out there, you fix a generator you have 5 generators to fix in order to open a door to escape. And that's it. You just go out there and you do the same thing every time. But every game is different. There's different killers, there's different survivors, and it's interesting. So I just don't know what it is that has kept this in the lexicon for all these years that is now spawning movies and spin-offs and Nicolas Cage to be one of the characters, which was the other thing that was announced. And so now we talked about it recently. We didn't know if he was going to be a killer or a survivor. And in this article that I read, he talked about how he brought his character to life and lent his voice to the role. And he recorded every pant, grunt, and scream to me, that's survivor. If you're screaming, you're the survivor that's out there. Like the pants, that's them running, grunting when you're injured. So it's like, okay, so he's going to be a survivor. Just smash my dreams into bits.
I don't know. Maybe he's the monster and he like stubs his toe and grunts a lot or something like that.
There's still hope. There's still hope alive. He's just panting and grunting the whole time, just like Nick Cage would, right?
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, it's interesting that Nicolas Cage, of all DLC characters.
Yeah. And then they talked about year 8. They revealed the roadmap for that. Lots of new stuff coming out. There's going to be there's going to be new chapters revealed with a bunch of new cosmetics. Iron Maiden and Slipknot are going to have some cosmetics added to the game. And then, there's a movie coming sometime in the near future. They're looking for the director and the writer of that movie now. And then a comic book series based on the game comes out this June. So Dead by Daylight is happening. I'm going to have to play some more of that tonight. Just talking about it gets me excited. The key for me to play it and enjoy it is I get really, really drunk ahead of time. And then, so every time when you're fixing the generator, you have these skill checks. So it's just like this wheel that comes around and you have to like have the right timing, and it ups the difficulty. It's like a handicap mode. It's really great. And then I'm constantly just jumping when I'm just getting scared. All right, we got to move on. Let's get this show on the road. AEW Fight Forever. This is the announcement I've been most excited to talk about. I'm a big AEW fan. Got my AEW shirt on right now. The game is finally coming out after all these years of not knowing what it's going to be. And it's coming out soon, June 29th. They had a trailer showing, the game and stuff like that. And since then, I've watched a couple Twitch streams of them playing the game, and it looks so fun. It's like a throwback to like the earlier games. It's like an arcade style. And it looks really, really fun. I'm excited. But it's gonna be a busy month, man. June. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be talking about. You're gonna be seeing a lot of AEW Fight Forever footage over there in the Fruit Labs. I'm telling you right now, It's gonna be me.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, just smashing fools in AEW Fight Forever. But yeah, it's coming out for PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, S and X, Nintendo Switch, and PC from THQ Nordic and Ukes. So very excited for that one. All right, in the least surprising news of the week, Nintendo has sent a cease and desist letter to Valve regarding the Wii emulator Dolphin. So basically they just said, because the Dolphin emulator violates Nintendo's intellectual property rights, including but not limited to its rights under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, anti-circumvention, anti-trafficking provisions, blah, blah, blah. We provide this notice to you of your obligation to remove the offering of the Dolphin emulator from the Steam store. Now,